Hello everyone and welcome to Cirrus Plaza, the shopping center on Neomuna that Lord Shaxx decided to repurpose into a makeshift war zone. Luckily the glass is bulletproof, so no fishies will be harmed in our Crucible escapades. This is the first of my series of 3 videos covering the new maps, and since this one is the crowd favorite so far, I figured this is where I'll start. Big shout out to Relic for the detailed maps that Bungie shared on their socials, so we can get some helpful top-down shots of the maps and understand the space and dimensions better. I spent several hours here today and I'm going to break down a lot of different things, including key sightlines, power positions, tricky shots, crossing routes, and how to kite people on this map as well. And I'll also share my overall impressions of the map, so let's get into it. One of the very first things you'll notice about this map is that it is symmetrical. Even though the 2 sides of the map have their own distinct features and characteristics, the layout is almost identical from side to side. Even though the map is as wide as it is long, it gives the impression of being long and narrow, with like 2 long symmetrical sides cut down the middle by a treacherous gap. I found that mastery of this map requires skill in knowing how to cross that gap in a wide variety of ways, while also taking advantage of the numerous sightlines across it that provide you with some cover while opening up your opponent to vulnerable sightlines. And speaking of sightlines, let's shift gears and start highlighting the key sightlines on the map as well as the power positions. Okay, so the first thing we gotta talk about is like, where's the action gonna be focused? So when you spawn in on this map, I mean, it depends obviously on what game mode you're playing, where you're going to be focused at and where you're going to be headed. But, you know, these maps really are made for 3v3. So you're going to spawn either here in the arcade, which is cool because, you know, the dance floor lights up. And so does the, like, Dance Dance Revolution machine. It's pretty cool. But let's talk about where the action is going to be. So when you spawn up, you're likely going to be headed through, you got these 2 big double doors on both sides. And you can see directly across. So pulses and sniper rifles right here are going to be pretty useful. 120 hand cannons across this gap. Okay, so this is one of the first places where action's going to happen, is right outside these double doors and using these half walls as cover and shooting across the gap. Okay, now obviously Atrium here, where you've got the heavy ammo spawn, this is a hot spot. But let's talk about where people are going to be trying to get to. So you've got balcony right here, okay, and this is overlooking both sides. Now the thing about this spot is that it is highly exposed, right? You're going to be highly exposed up here, but you're going to have a lot of access to a lot of different sight lines just for being up here, and you can get shots on a lot of different people, a lot of different angles. So it's a valuable power position to have, and people are going to want to get up here, especially people who have things like hard-hitting pulse rifles and sniper rifles, 120 hand cannons. They can basically be effective at any range that is available to you from up here. So this is one major key sightline. You're going to want to check this balcony for people, you know, as often as you get a chance to check for them, because you don't want them to take advantage of all these sightlines. Now, here's another thing about this position. Now, we found when we were playing trios especially, one of the most useful things was to have somebody up here that's a radar ping and it's a highly, you know, contested point. You want somebody up here with a sight line that can kind of crouch down and use the cover as they need to. But people down here are going to be focused right here on this guy, right? They hate the person with high ground. They want to shoot him. But the one thing that they are open to, depending on which side of the map they're on, if you've got a guy up top on balcony, send a second one right below him. So the radar ping is going to be confusing, and a lot of times they're going to be caught looking up here, and you've got free shots on people down here. So actually the bottom stairs here, the bottom of this ramp, is a really powerful position to have, especially in 3s, when you've got a teammate up on the balcony. Now, let's say, for example, your guy up on the balcony goes down, and for whatever reason, the people who are down here want to get up here, and they start coming in, right? There's a cheeky angle you can get right here, this little ledge. They're not going to be paying attention to it. So if you've got a shotgun, and you're down here, people start to push you, you run like they think you're going to come up this ramp. You just get up on this little half ledge here, and boom, free, easy kill right here. And then if you need to, you can always just use your double, triple jumps or your warlock floofing and get some elevation right here above the door too. And you'll be out of the sight lines. But Aquarium up here, you're likely going to have plenty of fights up in this area because people are going to want to get control of this. Now, in control, the B flag's on the opposite side of the map, which is probably a smart idea, so you don't have
people all constantly trying to fight uphill. But in just about every other game mode, people are going to want to get up here. They're going to want to get control of this space. I do not recommend fighting in this room in particular. Because look at this. If you get caught in here, you can get shot from this door, that door. They can jump through the window. And then these 3 spots here. You are so exposed in here. And the radar pings, you're just going to be playing the guessing game as to which one of these places they're going to come in from. So don't really recommend using this room unless it's like I just need to break for cover and get some health back real quick. But it's a good place to move through. It's not a good place to stay in. You're highly exposed in here. Even though you might feel like, oh, I'm in a confined room, I've got control of this space. You don't. You're a all they gotta do is play the doors and the windows here, and you're just a fish in a barrel. So don't recommend hanging out here. Obviously, this has a nice line of sight on heavy too. Now let's talk about another key position of the map. Right here at Atrium, this is going to be highly contested. It's the middle of the map. It's the only crosswalk that bridges the gap between these 2 sides other than the very top and the very bottom of the map. So this is going to be highly contested. And you're going to have a lot of fights just like this right here going across the gap. You can see through the glass and see where people are moving to. Okay? There's a couple of key things to know about this space. One of the things that's going to be helpful is learning how to maneuver through this space without using the floor, okay? Because this is where people expect you to be, but if you can learn how to, cross at a time that is advantageous, but especially instead of going the whole distance, if you can maneuver right around hugging these elevators here, and so you're not highly exposed, that's going to be very helpful. Now, a lot of people will start to jump up here because this is a bit of a power position because of all the things you can see with high ground. You got high ground on all the doors, right? This is a powerful position, but it's also very exposed. One of the things I would recommend is, to get up there, you got to do a double jump, and all the double jumps make noise, so people are going to know you're going up there. I was able to pick that out every time when I was playing, 3v3 on PC with Hoey today. I would call it out every time. I'd say, look up on Atrium, look at the top. Because you'd hear a double jump and that's where a guy was coming right up here to get shots on you. And then he's super exposed to teamfire up there. So if you want to use the elevation here, here's my recommendation. Don't double jump, play right here on the corner. Because without double jumping, you can clamber the corner here. It's the perfect elevation to clamber the corner. They won't hear you go up, and you've got this for cover, right? And then every time you aim, it'll just pop you up. You don't even have to uncrouch. You just hit the aim button, and you'll pop up here, and you can get shots on people and stay pretty well hidden. So I don't recommend coming up here unless it's just real quick. You hop up here because you have an opening, you get the kill, and then you drop down and be on your merry way. But if you really want to get shots across the gap here and you want to do it from a cheeky angle, you can clamber the corner and use this for cover. You know what I'm saying? Definitely take advantage of that. Another cheeky angle here. Don't double jump it. Single jump it right here on the corner. Okay? So if people are pushing you around the corner, you can use this little half ledge right here because it's not where they expect you to be. And you can also see across these diagonal angles too. And you can always drop off and back up if you need to. So if somebody's chasing you, let's see, so you grab the heavy and they're chasing you and you don't have health, you can always play the corner, and then when they come around, drop and come back up. Let's talk about more sight lines. Obviously, you've got this opening of this half wall right here where you can shoot straight across. You're going to have a lot of duels across the gap here. I've had tons of them. People like to take shots and see who wins that duel. So I recommend if you don't want to get caught there, use these panels for cover as you cross, okay? But then also, this planter here is a really nice location to get a cheeky angle right up to the doors and people coming down these ramps, okay? It's a little bit of visual cover, so if you're hiding behind it, it's not immediately recognizable as an enemy guardian for somebody to shoot at you, so definitely use these planters on the corner, okay? And you're going to get these nice diagonal shots right here across the gap. Now, another key sightline here is you see this is solid glass, so you can't shoot through it, so it's hard to really shoot across the angle here, but you can get up on these pillars, and this is the perfect elevation where you can crouch and use this glass wall basically as cover, stand up, get your shots, and then use this cover again if you need to. So that's a nice little angle there if you want to get up on these pillars. And again, you're exposed obviously up here from other angles, so you want to keep an eye on your radar and know when it's the appropriate time to hop up here. But another key thing here, let's say you tag somebody up, they're running down this red carpet here. to come down to this B location, one of the things you can do is hop across here and get up on the half wall and hug the pillar. You hug the pillar right here. So this is only if they're pushing from this side. And if you know that this side of the map is clear, this is your team's spawn area, and your back is not exposed to somebody, then you can use this as a cheeky angle. But there's another sort of caveat here. On this side of the map, see where the light comes in? Right? You can see the shadow right here. So I use this spot, but you may, if somebody's really tuned in, one of the things they can do is they're coming down here, and then look, they can see your shadow. It'll be right there. They can see a shadow of a guardian, and then that'll let them know that you're exposed right here. Okay? So just keep that in mind. This is a nice angle to challenge people from as they're pushing down here, but this will give you away if you're not careful, if the other guardian's paying close attention. This side doesn't have that problem, though. There's no shadow. Now, we spent a lot of time here in the middle space talking about key sight lines, but we haven't spent a lot of time on the perimeters. So let's move to the perimeters of the map. We'll start working our way around the outside. You have these turbine rooms, by the way. So you have multiple angles to get into B. So B is not like a super powerful position to hold, because while you're here, these things are obstructing your view. You've got these panels here obstructing your view up the ramp, but there's so many places people can push you from. So they could use these turbine rooms to push into B, right? And get shots on you there. They could just use this hallway here to do it. Or they could use the vents. Okay, there's an imposter among us. Use the vents here. And this vent, by the way, connects to this ramp. So you can always do like this, you know, get into the vent and challenge from this angle here. So it's just so many places where people can come and push you from if you're down here. So limiting the number of sight lines where they can see you from is a key thing to avoiding death here. Okay, so play close to cover. That way look at this. Now it's just, I only have to worry about this angle. They can't actively shoot me from this side of the map when I'm hugging this pillar. Okay, so limit the sight lines so that there's fewer places you can get shot from. Working our way around the perimeter here. Let's say we are in the arcade spawn. Okay, this is the arcade spawn room. Now, a couple key features about this room. There's nothing up here to use, unlike the opposite side, which we'll get to in a minute. You can hop up on these arcade machines here, okay, and play these if you need to. And there's a couple different spots in the arcade room that you could leverage and do just that, like right here as well. This is a cheeky little spot. So if you get chased in here, you know, let's say you getting shot from behind, you run in here, they're chasing, they're hungry, they want to finish you off. You can always hop up on these arcade devices right here, these machines, and they're going to be playing Ring Around the Rosie. They're going to be looking at eye level, and you're not there. So this is a great place to take advantage of people. Now this room here, okay, server room. So B is right over here. Okay, we've been spending some time here. This room here is interesting because look at the ceiling. If you're a hunter or a warlock, like especially a solar warlock, you can really ambush people by getting up here with heat rises. You know, activate your heat rises and basically hanging out up inside of these things and waiting for people to come down below you. Manticore could be useful here. Okay, but even as a hunter, if I just need to just really break line of sight from just real quick in the moment, boom, I can come up here and do so just to throw them off a little bit. It's just an option available to you, okay? So know that this is here because it's really hard to see in between those things, especially if you're not looking for it. If you're going to hop up here and play Ring Around the Rosie, don't double jump. Double jump is going to give you away. All you want to do is single jump, clamber, and then use the pillar for cover. Okay, single jump and clamber. One key feature about this map that stands out is this little half wall here that breaks up this sight line. Okay, you got the double doors room right here, and it's a big open space. It's really exposed. This is going to help keep you safe if you're in that space. So somebody comes in here, they're going to have to jump and vault this wall in order to get shots on you. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to look out for that hop up. If you're in this room and you get a radar ping over to your right, you're going to want to watch the wall because if they jump, they're going to be exposed. They're going to have an in-air accuracy penalty when they do that, and that's your opportunity. That's your window to get some damage on them first. Making our way back up and around through the aquarium and over to the C spawn. Here we are in the restaurant. Now the restaurant C spawn, nice little bar back here, but here's the thing about this spawn is that if you are in the C room, the restaurant, you've got this little hanging plant thing going on here that you can jump on top of. So the arcade, I said, didn't have something in the middle that you can leverage. I've used this spot several times in 3v3 already. But this right here cannot be stood on. Okay, there's like a little invisible barrier that shoves you off of it. So you can't get up there just like you can get on the arcade machines on the opposite side. So bear that in mind. Again, we have that half wall here. It's going to help keep you safe. And if you just want to cut through and it's safe, you can always just do a single hop and get through. If you need to kite people, break a line of sight, there's so many things on this map to break line of sight if you just need to recover some health. Okay, cutting in and out and around. This room, remember the server room where there were the things up in the ceiling we could jump in between? Doesn't have it on this side. Just keep that in mind. And the pillar on this side, you can't really ring around the rosy it like you could the other side because it's on the corner of this hop up. So I don't recommend using this jump up on this room like you can on the other room. The other room, you can kite people in there and take advantage of the elevation of the pillar and the hanging things on the ceiling. This room on this side, not really a great place for a fight. You're going to want to move through this space, not hang out there. And again, we do have our vents here. We can cut through and get shots on B. So there you have it. This is Cirrus Plaza. Let me know in the comments what you think of this map, how you're feeling about it, if it's a favorite of yours, if you dislike it, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. All that stuff is really useful information, so please feel free to drop that down below. I think overall, this map to me feels like a winner. I think this is a really solid PvP map. It's readable. That's one of the things I like most about it, is that the features on this map are easily distinguishable. I see a door, I see a hallway, right? It's well lit. It's got hard angles. It's just easy to read. Even if you don't know the map, you can be like, oh, I know where to go. I know what these shapes are, what they mean, what I can do with them. You know, a lot of different places in the Destiny universe are sort of alien looking, and the shapes are not standard, so they can be a little confusing just at first glance. But this, everything's familiar, very readable. Oh, I forgot to mention this spot right here. If you have B control in 3v3 specifically, this is the King of the Hill spot. One of the things you can do is hop up on these if people are coming through the vents, right? Not the vents, sorry, the turbine rooms. If you come through the turbine rooms, you can use this, you know, and drop down if you need to. But obviously, if you're up here with a shotgun, they cannot come out of this room, right? You've just locked it down. Now they have to relocate, and you can really pin guys in that way. Anyways. Cirrus Plaza, I think this is an A+ map. I think this is going to be a fan favorite. I would not be surprised if this was the Trials map this weekend, honestly. I think they're going to want to put like their strongest foot forward, and I think this is probably their strongest map of the three. But let me know what you think about this place. I'm curious. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you found it helpful, if you learned something new about the map, picked up some new sightlines, some new tricks, then let me know by leaving a like in the video, as that's the best free way to support the content here on YouTube. Hey, be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible right here on Cirrus Plaza. Bye-bye.
Fire team that fights together stays together. One opponent left. They don't stand a chance.
I've got you, Hobie.
That was all. I need a
Good teams, man, good teams.
red jack.
Left, dead.
Triple down. Claim zone C. Double down. 3 opponents down. 2 for 1.
No, they're all dead.
Hear that? My
Yeah.
soul just
Another one to the right there.